it's Kathleen from Republica Unicornia. I just wanted to pop in with a little video about how I knit colorwork. There are a ton of different ways that you can knit stranded colorwork. This is just the one that I have found has worked for me, and it makes my brain happy, and so that's what I do and what I'm going to show you. So I am primarily a continental knitter, which means that I hold and tension yarn in my left hand. And so that's kind of my dominant knitting hand. And so I'm gonna start by showing you high tension yarn for that. There are so many different ways to do this. It is literally just what feels comfortable for you. So the way that I tension my yarn continental style is I go over my ring finger, under my middle finger, and then double wrap that way. And that allows me to maintain tension. It works really well, I love it. I taught myself how to do flicking, which is essentially, it is basically reverse continental. So you put yarn in your right hand. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over my ring finger, same way that I did under my middle finger, and then wrap like that. I'm not as good at this because it's not my dominant way of knitting. And so you'll see I kind of have to readjust yarn more. So I'm gonna start the pattern calls for this oatmeal color, and you saw me do that. I have to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna knit that first stitch, and then the second, and then the second. That's the third, not the second. And then I'm gonna go in with the green. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna swoopies, swoopies. And one thing I do when I'm knitting stranded colorwork to kind of help my floats from being too tight is I'll scooch it on the right needle, and I'll scooch it along, and that kind of stretches my work out. So, I mean, look, you can see it's totally gonna be lumpy till it's blocked, and that is okay. I feel like when I started knitting stranded colorwork, there were a lot of people who had very strong opinions that, like, if there's any kind of lumpiness in your colorwork, your floats are too tight and it's going to explode into a million pieces. That is not true. These fibers are going to relax when you block them. I've never had my colorwork look terrible when it's done, so just don't worry about it too much. Okay, so back to my green. And my oatmeal. And my green. You just go along. It's very soothing once you get in the rhythm of it. It took me a long time to figure out, just to get the tension comfortable, especially if you're doing a knitting style that is not your primary one, getting that muscle memory down. But I actually really prefer to knit colorwork two-handed. It is technically not as fast as if I hold them both in my left hand, but I find stuff gets tangled up. I have used a Norwegian knitting thimble, which will like hold the yarn. It's got little wire loops on it and it'll hold the yarn separate. Also, is it even your knitting if your hair isn't caught in it? You see the red hair? But I don't love the way that it feels, and I will do it if I have to, like if I'm doing a pattern that has 3 colors in one row, because I just can't keep up with that. So I will do it then, but this is just kind of how I prefer to do it. So that is stranded colorwork. It's the best. If you've never tried it, please don't be afraid of it, and don't let many people on the internet tell you that it's hard and terrible, and if you don't get it perfect on the first try, you are a rubbish human who doesn't deserve to knit. Everybody deserves to knit. So have fun, happy knitting.